Yeah, good morning to whoever might have shown up by now. I'm going to be on mute for just a few more minutes as I take care of a couple of things on the phone. So I'll leave you on radar. I'm not there yet. Probably just about Milam County, Texas, near Cameron. About 30 minutes, we might start seeing some things. So yeah, good morning to whoever. There you go. I'll be back. All right, I got to check to see if audio is going to come back live for me. I had a couple of hiccups in that a few minutes ago. Uh-huh. know what's going on. It's like the mic doesn't want to initialize itself. So if you hear an echo, I'm trying to get some things set, trying to do a playback. I don't know what's going on. It's like the mic doesn't want to initialize itself. All right, well, I think it's working. So if it cuts out, it just does. All right, so here's our current situation. Severe thunderstorm watch to my west. I don't know if you can see that little thin line just north of where my location is. My location is right there about dead center screen. If you see a little line there, that's the cold front. All right, and the storm that was severe back to the northwest of me remains severe, but it's getting undercut by the cold air at the surface. So I think it's gonna die. The storm to the southwest of that could remain severe for a while. That may be coming more off of dry line, but I didn't look at any of the surface. I don't know anything about today. I did not look at anything since last night, so I'm playing this off last night. I am not at all have looked at anything here for today, as of today, let's put it that way. So the one to the south might have a longer lifespan unless it ends up getting undercut as well. And then if it does, this day is pretty much going to be done. So with that said, we'll see. Here we go, heading down Highway 21 right now. I just left Caldwell, Texas. Obviously, there's probably a greater risk to the east today, but and I'm talking about east. I'm talking about going over into Mississippi or something, and I don't go over there anymore. I'm done with that terrain out there. That and Louisiana and parts of East Texas, as a matter of fact. So I want to keep tabs on where this frontal boundary is. Pretty much tell where it is. It looks like it's about Corsicana down to Rockdale, Texas. It's not far to my northwest. Then it bends back over to the north side of Austin. So I'm thinking this southwest cell, so dry line, it's riding ahead of that boundary. So if this front slows down, that could make a difference. Looks like it's moving at a pretty decent little clip right now. Okay, so I wasn't really going to have much opportunity this week to get out here. Luckily, this is kind of close to home, and it's not going to be a long day or anything like that. Tomorrow, my youngest one graduates college, so I've got to go to a luncheon tomorrow, a graduation. Got my other daughter coming in from California. She flies into Austin today. I don't have to pick her up. Her best friend in Austin is picking her up, and then they're coming over tomorrow to go to the graduation. And some of you have heard this before. But then Friday she leaves, my oldest one leaves for Maryland, so it's back to the airport on Friday. And then she comes back on Monday from Maryland, so it's back to the airport on Monday. And then she flies back to San Diego on Wednesday, so it's back to the airport on Wednesday. I think severe possibilities later in the week are pretty much nothing down in this part of the country. It is liable to be wet, however, on possibly even tomorrow still, but Friday maybe more likely. It's May. So what am I expecting out here today? Not a lot. Not a lot. If any of this can hold together and go as far as, say, Interstate 45, it's possible I may try to stay with that and see what happens with it. But if it's behind the cold front and it's severe, it's just going to be hail. Tornado risk is extremely low today. It's not zero, but it's really low, based on last night anyway. Right now, the stronger cell has definitely got a beeline on the Austin area, and it's still an hour from Austin though, and we still got to watch and see if that thing gets undercut. I think it's going to get undercut myself. Yeah, undercut basically is taking the legs off of them. You know, it's cutting the legs out from underneath it. The draft starts to collapse, just like the. Take a look at the cell here. Let me get in on it. All right, see how that thing has really started to weaken, big time. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for this southwest cell, by the way. So you see how that one's just totally weakened out, and this line right here across about the middle bottom part of the screen here, that's your frontal boundary right there. All right, that thing is behind that boundary. It's gotten undercut. So that boundary is really cutting close to this one here, which just got a new severe thunderstorm warning on it. Same thing could happen there, but we'll see. So that's generally the way things stand on this May 6th. Overcast day here. Not helping us build much instability, that's for sure. I'd be farther up the road. I'd probably be closer to I-35 in the Austin area had I, but today is my trash day, so I had to gather all my things together and go by our precinct's disposal station and get rid of everything first. And then I had to stop and get fuel. $4.19. This fuel expense is killing me, killing all of us this year. I think it was Sunday I was coming back from the Houston area, and I passed a store that I frequent quite a bit, and buy a lot of fuel from them. And they were at $3.69. That was Sunday. The next day they had gone to $4.19. I'm sorry, but I have a problem with justifying an increase in price that much inside of 24 hours. Yeah, so today is probably going to cost me, what did I spend? I didn't even fill it all the way up. I went into the store and I just said, hey, I think I put 60, I think I put 62 in here. I was just kind of doing it in my head, like how much can I hold based on how many miles I had left to empty. Sometimes I kind of figure that out. Well, I paid inside because I got something else. And yeah, so 62 bucks just for the day to start. And that may be the extent of the fuel expense today. Which I guess would be good. Better than what I've had to put out there some past days. So hopefully things will work out and at least break even. Well, don't just think it's the fuel. Got all this data and stuff too to pay for every month. I guess between everything, I've got about 500 gigabytes a month available to me. Yep, so that's not free. And I still have not even turned on my Verizon. So I may actually make it through the season without even turning that thing on. So that would be okay too, and it would come in handy in some spots. I know for a fact to have that as one of the bonded connections, but you know, as long as I can slip by without even doing it, that's going to save me $100 a month. So it sits in my case back here behind the seat. It has a bunch of cables and cameras and all kind of different things in there, HDMIs, USBs, and it's just all kind of interconnecting cables and whatnot in there. So that's where it's sitting. And hopefully I can just leave it there and not even have to use it this year. Oh, well, they're $3.99 here on the right. That's where I should have stopped to get fuel. Save myself a buck or two. But on the left, they're $4.19. I actually had a little music in the background there. Hopefully that wasn't coming across real well. I thought I had turned that all the way down. All right, I'm coming into a little place. Is this the one that they actually call this is Dime Box? I can't remember if it's Old Dime Box. There's an Old Dime Box and a Dime Box, but I don't know if they have that on the maps anymore. It used to be that way. Oh, no. Here's the sign. This is Old Dime Box. Now, if you want to go somewhere and try to look up how this place got its name, feel free to do so, because honestly, I don't even remember. Something tells me it has something to do with a jukebox or something and a dime, or I don't know. I don't know. Uh-huh. So how's that one looking? It's looking, yeah. I do have chat open on another device, but when I'm in the traffic and stuff like that, I can rarely glance over there. I'm certainly not going to fixate myself on trying to read anything. Front's going to cut this one too. I'm pretty sure. That's okay. It can be, I'll have a short day. Oh gosh, yeah, I think June might be pretty active, at least the first part, the first half at least, maybe more, based on some other planetary things, let's put it that way. I don't know how much availability I will have once we get into June. Just because I have something else that's going to be going on. Okay, I gotta make sure. Okay, this is not supposed to be connected to the Starlink. Why is this device connected to the Starlink? It should not be. That's why that connection is not appearing on my grouped bonded connection list, because it decided to connect itself to the Starlink. So I had to take that off. Because guess what? Then it's going to try to pull the same IP address. Don't want that. Because you can't use two of the same IP addresses. So now that I took that off, let me do a reset. Reset. Okay, reset complete. Now let's see if we should get an auto reconnect. We should get an auto reconnect. I say we should get an auto reconnect on Wi-Fi number 2. Okay, it's back. It's back. We have a slow-moving backhoe on a major highway. See, if somebody was going down the road and messing around on their phone and not paying attention, they could run right up into the back end of that guy, and the result would not be good for either party involved. Currently, this is it. Anything else that forms behind this, I would have no concern. I pretty much have no concern of it. I think this one's trying to give up the ghost as well. Yeah, again, I didn't look at anything this morning. I just gathered everything I needed to haul away, and then just got on the road. We'll go check it out, because I know I'm not going to be out on the road for a few more days. Well, I'm going to be on the road, but I'm not going to be on. That's for other reasons, not anything to do with the weather. That's for sure. The way it looked. I gave it its due diligence. when I looked through things last night. And I was like, close to home. I'll check it out anyway, see what happens. I don't think we'll have anything like what I went through Friday. Which, by the way, Friday, that 100 plus up to 120 mile per hour wind event down there outside of Victoria was pretty darn intense, and ended up having an EF1 there. So that was interesting. EF1 that you couldn't even see. It was shrouded in white. I knew something was going on when that wind did a quick shift. Hopefully those folks down there have gotten their power back by now. But I know a lot of them are dealing with homes they can't be in. Opposing air currents. Okay, well, okay. I don't see how Cape could be that high with cloud cover. 1,000 to 2,000 maybe, if I might be stretching that a little bit. I don't know. I didn't look at anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really. But because I just glanced over, saw the air currents. You know, there's more to it than just that. Trust me. I've had people tell me, "Oh yeah, that cold front and that warm air collide. There's going to be all kind of bad weather and tornadoes and stuff." I'm like, "No, yeah, that's not how the science works." I know what I am going to do. I'm going to get to the spot where Highway 21 and Highway 290 intersect. I'm going to stop at that convenience store, and I'm going to take the time to really look at my surface obs, look at everything else. Look at the atmosphere from the ground up. I'm just a few minutes away from there, actually. There's no reason for me to go towards this only severe warned cell in the whole country right now. There's no need for me to keep going towards it, because I think it's about to be done. So we could easily end up today with a couple of hours of just highway travel. Warm air advection ain't helping things either. Let's see. I'm trying to look over and see if I can actually visually see where that cold front is, because it's not that far from me, really. I may stop sooner than that. We'll see. Guys pulling oversized loads, they really should be in the right lane, not the center lane, because their loads were hanging over the center line of the highway here. I don't like being behind dump trucks either. Can't tell you how many times that has resulted in something flying off their vehicle, hitting my windshield, putting a ding in it, or worse. So I just wanted to get on around those guys and not be behind them. Mannheim. We're coming into Mannheim. Another one of those little small Texas spread out, call it a community if you will. It's just where people live, a little more concentrated than anywhere else. Front is killing us today. I don't have camera 3 even connected, so I may not even need to connect it. Well, there is a darker sky back down to the southwest. Actually, that's really the wrong terminology. It's not a darker sky, it's just the clouds are darker. It's kind of like saying the sun sets. The sun actually doesn't set. See, today is Wednesday, right? Wednesday. I'm getting old. Man, my girl graduates college tomorrow. It's just, time goes by too fast. I know it's just a saying. Time is relative anyway, but still. I didn't even eat anything today yet. It could be because I ate, it was like, was it like midnight last night? I ate a few jumbo shrimp and some fish, cold out of the refrigerator. It's good stuff. So I ate so late last night, I wake up today and don't have any hunger. Well, that store is coming up, so I'm going to, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to go all the way west of I-35 for this. With as much uncertainty as I see in this right now. I'm going to look at the satellite, I'm going to look at the surface obs, I'm going to look at the mid and upper levels and see what all's going on there. And take into consideration anything that is south of the cold front. I don't care about anything north of the cold front. If I don't see anything intriguing, then guess what? I'll just be heading back home. I'll take a glance at the chat too when I'm stopped. Found me a spot out here where I can be all by myself. Right here. This will be fine. All right. Let me start my research. Oh joy. Real quick, I'll just go through the chat. Dakota, how's it going? Okay, grandkids are over in Pflugerville. Okay. This thing's shrinking up. Okay. A car wash at a bucket. Well, I tell you what, this vehicle does not go through car washes. There's too many things outside. If it's one of those, I'm not going to do those. There's too much stuff out there that I feel could get damaged. I'll wash it myself when I need to, which doesn't happen very often. Okay, Western cells popping up possibly. Well, there's nothing behind that. It's behind foot. Okay. All right. I don't know what exactly happened. I don't know. I had a runtime error. And it basically killed everything. So I shut down and just did a restart. Hopefully it's back to life again. Yeah, okay. All right, and this cell is going to its grave, as expected. All right. Select that COM port. There's nothing happening. I'm going to turn off the media side stream. Let's see. I'm going to go here. Yeah, let me go turn that switch off. So if you see me on Weatherwise, you will not see me on Weatherwise. You'll have to come to YouTube, because I'm turning that option off right now. All right. That is now turned off. So you will not be able to get anything you have to watch on YouTube. And there's not a lot to watch. All right. All right, so now let me start doing what I was intending to do before I had a whole total meltdown of my system. Yeah, I got to figure out this Weatherwise thing. I've got somebody I need to talk to, because I won't go into that. Okay. I will get an explanation of what the deal is there. Some things that I don't like to happen when I'm not asked or informed. So you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so let me get back to what I was gonna do here. Let me just see short term. What time of day is it, by the way? 10:52, so it's almost 11. Okay. 16Z, 16Z, 11. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, accept that. All right. Okay, a little bit of afternoon activity that I just don't know if it's going to have anything. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Okay. Let me go to my tools, forecast. Let's see. Let me look my obs. Now the cooler air is apparently still farther north. Golly, 70-degree dew points over here. Drops off to 60s and 50s farther north. Okay. Southerly flow here. You ever have a situation where you forget where one of your buttons is? Oh well, forgot where my zoom button was. I'll do it manually. Okay. 63 over 61. 77 over 73, 77, 73, 78 over 74, 77 over 73, 64 over 62, right behind the cell. This is a mixed out dry line too, it looks like, based on these dew points. .61 over 40, that can't be right when farther west it's 61 over 61. 55 over 50 makes sense, 54 over 53. When I say that 54 over 53, I'm talking about 54 air temperature, 53 dew point. Okay? Air temperature, then dew point. This one's saying 6140. I don't think so. 64 over 62, I buy that. That's right along that line there. 77 over 73. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I actually could have overlaid these surface obs on my radar screen, but I came into this tool because I want to look at some other things. All right. Thermodynamics. Looks like 3000 Cape is confined to the coastal plain right now. And that kind of makes sense. Let's hit the surface. So there's a big 5000 Cape bomb out there in Mexico. That one area where things come off the mountains, you know, that upslope, all that mess stuff, where I need to do a little thing on that sometime just to explain how that seems to always occur. Probably going to be the trigger for some supercells that come out of Mexico tonight, maybe. Okay. Let me look at some mid-level lapse rates. Well, there's only one lapse rate of 6.5 north of, I guess, Corpus Christi. That's not huge. It's not small, but it's not some of those 7.5 to 8 degrees C things that we get some of the bigger days. But okay, so that's that. Let's look at the convergence, moisture convergence. Okay, that's where that is. Mixing ratio is, okay, very small. Okay. I'm just talking to myself as I look over some parameters here. Look at the 500. Oh, we got 60 knots in the 500 layer. That's enough. Okay. 700, southwesterly in the 20-25 knot range. Okay. Let's go to the 850 level. Weak, very weak. And let's look near surface. Okay. Canceling the severe thunderstorm watch. Okay, let's see that. Okay, where's most are unstable? Yeah, most of the instability is going to be closer down to the coastal plain, which kind of totally makes sense given the fact of where the cool front is. I say cool front, cold front, whichever way you want to look at it. I have seen enough to know that there's not going to be much. Look at one more thing. I still think there will be some thunderstorms during the course of the next few hours anyway, moving across the region here, but as far as anything severe, I don't think so. Excuse me while I take this call. All right, I'm back. I'm back. 23 bored people today. Okay, cancellation. Yeah, so I had to take that phone call. That was from my eldest daughter. She's traveling to Texas from California with her cat. She always does when she comes home. She just wanted to call and tell me that her cat went through TSA. It was the easiest, smoothest transition she's ever dealt with. She said it always stresses her out. So she will be on a plane. She will be landing in Austin at 3 p.m. this afternoon. So it's all coming together. So anyway, I think there will be some storms around today. I don't really think there's going to be anything. Yeah, could be a beefy storm or two, maybe more southeast, maybe down towards the Houston area. I don't see enough right now to entice me to go down there. I really don't. Because that cell has gone away, pretty much. It sure has. Uh-huh. Okay, let's see. Well, what else? What else we got going on today? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so let me take a look at another thing. Oh, that is so funny how they do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make changes with the. Jeez. I love it. Okay, I'm going to close that. I'm not going to report that anymore. There's a lot of convection trying to pop up just behind that front. I can definitely see the front. I know exactly where it is. I see no reason to stay over here right now. All right, I'm going to get back on the road with no real purpose, if that makes any sense. No real purpose. I am just simply going to Do I want to go that way or this way? Can I cross over there? I don't know if I can or not. I don't think I can. Well, there actually is a way to do it, but you have to go up, you have to go to a stoplight, and you have to do all that. So I'll just go this way. I'm just going to slowly meander my way back towards the east with a little tilt to the southeast. And we'll see what happens. So that truck right there was Wastewater Solutions. Depending on what kind of wastewater we're talking about here. If that thing was ever to be in an accident, the thing busted open, that could be a revolting thought. All clear to turn left. Let's do it. I guess I'm just going to have to face the fact that the standard on fuel is going to be over $4 a gallon. It maybe even get worse before the season is over. I'll tell you what, I'd call it early season, just say I'm done, unless it's within a couple of 100 miles of home or something. Just say I'm done, this is just costing too much. What's this guy doing? Playing in the rocks? He's picking up rocks, wow. You folks that are heading up in the fast lane up there going 75 miles per hour, I just hope they understand the speed limit through here is 55, and right over the rise up ahead, Department of Public Safety likes to sit over there. All of a sudden they hit their brakes. I wonder if the DPS is not sitting up there somewhere. Doesn't appear to be. Here goes another one. Yep, this gas station is $4.19 a gallon as well. Hey Rhonda. Yeah, you know I live about 25 minutes west of College Station, right? So I'm not that far away from you. I'll just hang out and keep an eye on things a little bit today. I'm really not overly concerned about anything. Now I'm getting messages on my iPad. In a way, that's kind of neat. If I don't get the thing on my, if I don't actually see what I get on my phone, it's actually easy for me to glance over there and basically get the title. I can kind of tell what a conversation would be about just by looking over there. And it's because it's always a little bit delayed. Could it be because that was going through a satellite uplink? Possibly. Well, the sun is trying to pop out just a little bit here. If we could get a little more sun, it may change the complexion of things just a bit. It's like right along Highway 21, Madisonville, Palestine, Madisonville, coming back down to the southwest in that general area right now. There's a little bit of convection going on there along the boundary. I don't anticipate anything really to come out of that. I always hate those bumps. Since we're on a joyride thing here right now, I just figured, okay, I'm gonna turn here. This is actually a racetrack. I didn't even know this was a racetrack over here. Dirt track? There's a couple of dirt tracks out here, so to speak. There's a nice view from up here. You can't see anything, but this is a racetrack. You get all these country boys out here and racing their old cars or whatever. That sounds like fun, man. Something I might have done in my earlier days. Yeah, so. Yeah, that's a good banked dirt track there. I've been by this place a few times on the highway and never actually came over here and looked. This is the first time in history I have ever done this. Dirt track racing, May 30th. Alright, let's just roll down Highway 290. I want to get somewhere where I am going to make a pit stop in a few minutes. Yeah, there was a risk out yesterday, and late afternoon, evening, night, whatever, up in north to northeast Texas, basically into Arkansas, and obviously I was not up there, and there was a reason I wasn't up there. I didn't see enough to intrigue me to get me up there, and I don't think a single storm actually formed up there last night, Texas at least. There were a couple in Arkansas, but I don't think there was ever even, there could have been after I quit looking, but I don't know if there was even anything tornado warned up in Arkansas where the tornado watch was actually issued. So that was a good choice. Today's choice I think it's a good choice too, because I'm not far from home. Just get out here for the first time since Friday, and then, yeah, Friday, and it'll be the last time for several days to come with a cluttered schedule. Well, anything that was severe out west of I-35 at this point, saw it coming an hour ago. It's gone, vanished. Undercut. From my vantage point, it has been undercut by the cold front. Took the legs right out from under it. And even last night, I believe, when I looked at things, I said, I think that's pretty much expected. But on the other hand, I did not expect the cold front to. I really didn't think it was going to be as far south as this right now. Casting, okay, I'll look at that casting email later. At least there's a few people that are bored enough to watch me drive down a highway with some light rain. Yeah, better streaming days will come. There's been a few already. Oh, the old Texas sign that says left lane is for passing only. And as you can see up ahead, there are a bunch of people up there. They're not passing anybody. Does anybody ever get pulled over for that, though? Technically, I don't think so. If you went by the book, you're actually driving illegally if you're not passing someone in the left lane. I don't know why they have those signs up, really, and nobody abides by it. Giddings, Texas. Which one is Mexican Grill? I will have to eat something, at least something light, pretty soon. Uh-huh. What, they have a radio station here? 96.3? I didn't know that. Alright, so these guys want $4.29 a gallon for fuel. This is going to be a short streaming day. I could actually go back home. 77 degrees here. Let me check my temperature back at home location. 78 degrees there. The winds are 2.9 out of the west-northwest. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. West-northwest. Not southeast. Or south. That clock right there, that's the old timey, man. That's from years and years ago. I remember those. Tell you what, $4.19 a gallon just seems to be the going rate for most places. Of course, there's one across the street says 407. I don't need any fuel right now, but I am going to make a stop. Make myself a pit stop. Maybe just get me a little something to snack on. Maybe on the rear camera you can watch people pay for that expensive fuel while I go do this. There's no money in my pocket. Open console, grab money, done. Okay. Oh, that was painful getting out. I had a sciatic nerve problem pop up yesterday, and I went and got treatment, but it's still really, really painful. I shall return. Never guess what I got a bag of. Potato chips. The old sciatic nerve is just really stiff when I try to move around after I've been sitting. All right. Let me just get myself out of the mainstream parking area here, and I'm going to move over. There is a dark sky to the north of me. Now, why? Because that's where that cold front is actually sitting. Are we going to get anything out of that? Probably not. We'll see. I'll just open up my potato chips. How's radar looking? Oh, we got more concentration back up to my northeast of some stuff, but what about anything going severe out of that? Just not seeing it. Well, let's just see. Uh-oh. Yep, that is definitely the cold front. I'm going to go ahead and head over that way. Gets me closer to home if I decide to go ahead and call it a day. Let's see, Orange Street, I think is the main one that goes to 141. Should be it right up there. Oh, fella, if you would have went ahead and signaled that you were going to turn right onto this road right here, I could have gone. Okay. No, I don't think I want to go. Do I want to go 141? I may not even be able to change lanes to get over there. Oh yeah, this is a north wind. I definitely have hit the north wind. Uh-huh. I told you the cold front was here. That boundary right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the cold front. Don't try to get on the highway from this road. Y'all know I'm going to have to set some kind of goal here, even though today doesn't look like it's going to materialize into much. At least try to cover some of my fuel costs. We'll roll around out here today and see what might happen. A turnout lane, so I'm going to take advantage of that. You can hear me crunching my potato chips. I'm sorry about that. Because some of these chips are all bundled together and stuff, and it makes a big crunch when you put them all together. Crunch down on them, bite down on them. Crunch, crunch. Buc-ee's is even $4.19. It's a small Buc-ee's in Giddings, Texas. Up ahead, the Sefco is $4.19. Folks, we're hosed on gas. We are hosed. Alright, I'm going to set a minimal, something small. I'm going to do 5. We'll do 5. And I'll just do all of those. Probably won't be out here 2 hours. We'll see. 2 hours longer. We'll see. Whether we will attain that today or not, probably not. Okay. Okay, did I thought I told you to start. Okay. All right. We're going to go that direction. All right, $4.19 a gallon here too. Sad but true. All right, I am heading eastbound. Highway 290 out of Giddings, Texas. And I set that goal for 2 hours minimum. Personally, I don't care if it stays at 0 today. I don't think I'm going to end up spending that much in fuel today. I'll end up spending as much in data as I do in fuel, maybe. Hang out here long enough today to see if anything can possibly happen. I'm not anticipating it. Temperature I had earlier was 77. It is now 68 degrees because the frontal boundary has crossed me. That's what you see up ahead. That is the cold front. I know there's not a lot to talk about. Anything that farms back behind this front boundary, it's it's one of those deals where, yeah, hail threat, yes, pretty much it. Woo! Can you tell I just crossed that boundary? See how that window fogged up? Can't tell me I didn't find the boundary. Yeah, Mark, it's the only day I have this week. Sarah graduates tomorrow, and Rachel's getting on a plane shortly, and I got too much going on. Slim, close to home, why not? Why not? What's back there? That's what's back there. There's a cold front back there. Why not another little stop for a moment? Oh, there's nowhere to pull off on this town. What is this town? I don't even know what this town is. I've been down this road before. Uh-huh. I have. Gehring Road. I wonder if that's Herman's relatives. Gehring. I don't know if it's spelled the same. I'm just checking out the area a little bit. You've heard of people taking a Sunday drive? Well, I'm taking one on Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Need a cold front to pull up stationary. That's what I need. Also got to try to bend my back. Oh my gosh, this hurts. Anybody ever had sciatic nerve problem? You probably know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and turn on my remote camera. I was actually going to spend a little time to try to build a better mount to stick this thing into from time to time. All right, press the button, start the application. Let me go in here and start the bond, not the bond, but the pairing application. Hello, I clicked on it, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. Device. Let's see if I'm going to have to pair it. I think I'm probably going to have to pair it. I got to make sure that thing got on the right Wi-Fi network. Settings, it is connecting. It's connected to its Wi-Fi is connected to that Starlink router, and looks like I'm gonna have to pair it up again if I can. Whoop, maybe not, maybe not. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, why are you being stubborn today? Well, I am just going to go ahead and do this. It didn't want to initialize itself. Come on, I told you to pair. Get out what? I'm joyriding, man. I'm not far from home. This is interesting in itself. Okay. Alright, so my pairing scheme does not want to act right today. Now it did. Yeah, maybe I was just holding my mouth wrong. I don't know. Okay, let's get a little power to that. See if that's working. Is that working? That's working. Is that working? Is it panning? Pan, 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 pan. Uh-huh. Okay. If I stayed on this highway and kind of zigzag a little bit, I could go a couple of places actually. I can go to 237. I'm not going all the way over there though. I mean, since I've been parked there messing with something, I mean, what have I had? 2 cars have come down this Farm to Market highway? It's the way I like it. I don't know what just happened. It's almost like my AT&T device services went, it's like they went off for a second. They went really bad or something. And I think that was just, it was so sudden. It was taking its time to try to recover. I've done about as much damage to those potato chips as I can. And now I need to clean my fingers off. So that's ahead of me. And that's behind me. I'm not going to show you radar because radar is pretty darn lame right now. Yeah, so we do have a little more development back to the west and west-northwest. That's right behind that. Is that back there where the dry line is? I don't know. Let me bring up a dew point overlay if I can find that darn thing while I'm driving here. We got it? Is that it? That is dew points. All right. Huh. The dew point right back at Giddings went from 74 to 63. And we still have a 73 dew point east of me here. College Station's gone down to 62-degree dew point as well. Columbus has a dew point of 75 right along I-10. The front's not there yet. And 46 in Junction. It's dew points now I'm talking about. These numbers are dew points, not temperature. 46-degree dew point Junction. 65 in Kerrville, 64 in Fredericksburg, 64 in Marble Falls, 60 in Burnett. Generally the low mid 60s. Kind of hard to see that right now, but up around the Austin area. 58 up around Georgetown, 57 up around Temple. So clearly tell by that where the cold front is. You can clearly tell that I crossed that boundary earlier because the windows just went to fog all of a sudden. And I think I may be actually behind the front again, so I may end up running into the same situation where all of a sudden the windows are just going to go foggy as crap. I mean, oh harden the crap, but that hurts when I try to lean over. Whew. If I could go through a season sometime without something hurting. What's the target area? There's no real good target today. It is not in Dixie, I can tell you that. I don't go there anymore. I'm just watching stuff here in kind of central, east, southeast kind of area of Texas, just to see. Certainly no high hopes. Let's make sure remote is still good. Yeah, it's still going. Not sure what you mean there, Rhonda. There are no active watches anywhere, and there are no active warnings anywhere. I mean, you've got the cold front that's come through at College Station. Dew points in the low 60s as they are, 63 and 64 around College Station. Have a northwest wind or something there. All right, daughter tells me, my oldest, she says she's just boarded the plane in San Diego, so she will be headed this direction in a bit. Back to where I had it. Oops, nope, don't want to do that. Yeah, I do want to do that. Low chances today for sure, but it's not no chance of something. Let me remove these dew point temperatures off of here. Okay. Okay. Yep. Pardon me for my lack of education in some of these things. garb. I'd like to know what does that mean? What is it? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what they're supposed to stand for. I've seen it before. I never asked. Somebody tell me what that means. That way I'll learn something today. If it's something bad, you'll get banned, but hopefully not. Now, given this camera here is not made for really things to be in motion at any higher pace, so that's why it does what it does. Let's see if these people yield like they're supposed to. They're going to just rock it right out there. So they had an opening. Good for them. I do need a fresh drink, so I'm going to stop at a new convenience store. I think it's been open for maybe a year. No, probably not a year yet, but I'll stop there and get me a fresh drink, because the one I got this morning has pretty much gotten waterlogged. We'll keep a little bit of an eye on stuff back to the west that's moving back to the northeast. There's some stuff trying out there. I'm not overly concerned about it yet. I mean, it may put down, if they can continue to grow, they could possibly put down some small hail. Be very isolated in nature, and not. In other words, not much coverage of that, just one or two or three or something like that, no big deal. But that's pretty much it as far as potential there is a farther to the east. I think that could change a little bit, but time will tell. Also, when I stop, I'm gonna need to plug in my iPad. These guys are at $4.39 a gallon. Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and go, because you've got a lane to turn into here. You could have gone. Pulled out so far, and you backed up. Thank you anyway. With common sense, you had the lane to turn into and you didn't take advantage of that well in advance, so at least you're on your way now. Yep, 62 bucks in fuel I put in here this morning. Didn't even fill it up. I'm going to back up into a parking spot over here because I got a northwest wind here, because I'm going to walk a little bit and try to loosen up this muscle sciatic nerve problem a little bit. So I'll walk about 50 yards to the store. What view do I want to leave you with? That one, not that one, or that one. Or you don't want to watch the people, or you want to watch me limp into a store? Mark, you got that right. Yeah. Did I keep money in my pocket? I think I did. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you can watch me limp over to the store. I'll start walking better as I move. Trust me, because I'm loosening up. But, yeah. Let me get a drink. Oh, gosh. First hardest task is getting out. We are west of Brenham, Texas. Pardon me while I grunt getting back in. What walking right now is the most comfortable feeling I have given the situation. All right, so so what we have here, gosh, you knew where I would probably go with that. What we have here is failure to communicate. That is not the case. We don't have a failure to communicate. We have failure to initiate. Does that make sense? Yeah. What we have here is failure to initiate. It wasn't going to be a whole lot to initiate today anyway. Yeah, it's going to be a short day. It's going to be a short day. Let's just say it was a joyride day. Where is that spot coming from? Is it on my screen? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that spot. That spot on the left, I'm like, what is that? Well, here's what it is. Once I look out in real time, look out with my own eyes, I see what it is. Okay, what is that? What is that? Okay. You go. It's the ball they put on some of these power lines. And I can't turn at that angle, that tilt anymore, but that's what that is. All right. This is this is really gone. I think the final decision here in just a few minutes is very possibly going to be, let's go home. Or I could go somewhere where there's a substantial amount of traffic. You know, a place like, I tell you, one of the best places to do traffic stuff is at a Buc-ee's. I bet you Buc-ee's is one of the most little minor car accident prone locations in the world. Anyway, I was going to say I could go to Walmart and just kind of sit there and say, okay, hey, look at this guy. Or look at that guy. Whatever. What else we got going on today? Let's just take a look at something real quick. That was, no. 17. No. That is not. That is not the way things stand right now at all. There'll probably be the equivalent of severe thunderstorm warnings in part of Mexico tonight. Not going there. No, sir. Not going there. Let me do another surface ob thing here. Ooh, that is a mixed bag of stuff right there. God, that front's going to actually probably be at the coast by, I don't know, roughly 9 or 10 p.m. tonight. Yep, and right off the west flank of the front down there and the upslope out of Mexico, supercells will probably form tonight. And given the nature of things, may not even hardly move across the Rio Grande. A couple of them might just actually stay in Mexico and start going south. It ain't pretty. It ain't. Yeah, there's some big cape out there in Mexico. That's why that's going to occur. Best cape here is going to basically coastal plain thing again, but I'm not seeing where anything's going to really go and form down in there. I still think there could be something of consequence, of nothing major. Closer to the Houston area later. Maybe around 3 p.m. around Houston. Maybe, just maybe. Why did we have a hiccup in the stream? I don't know why. We did. I just kind of caught that. Tell you what, this does not. I'm going to look at something that I totally do not trust. That was just a few minutes ago. And you're going to maintain this? You really are? Okay. Okay. Well, okay, it's 12:43. I am not going to go all the way towards Houston for a very iffy potential. For just what might even struggle to be a severe storm later today around, I don't know, 2:30, 3:30, somewhere in that time frame or something. So I might just head home and get on ice on my left side over here and try to heal myself a little bit more. Usually takes me 3 or 4 days to get past these annoyances. Yeah, let's go that way. Let's go that way. A back road ride coming up. A little bit of stuff I was kind of referring to a little earlier, back to the west and west northwest, and just it can't go either. ago when I looked at the lapse rate on 6.5, C, 6.5. Nah, that was the most I could find. That's a mid-level lapse rate, by the way. Gotta watch out for the buzzards. Buzzards over here trying to eat on something. See, out here right now, I can just kind of cruise along and take my time. Nobody behind me. Won't be streaming much longer, probably, because nothing is really going off. Red dozer. God dog, man, thank you. Sure helps to cover the expense for the fuel today. Sorry, Mother Nature ain't going to provide any kind of a show today. Of course, I headed out today, you know, kind of expecting that anyway. But just to kind of mention once again, oh gosh, that was bumpy. I just mentioned that I was, you know, wanted to get out. There was some chance, there is still some chance, and there will be some chance, but just wanted to get out. It's really the only opportunity I'll probably have for a few days with everything else I've got going on in life. So I think after, I'm not sure what time I have to make a trip to the Austin airport next Wednesday. I do have several airport trips that are going to have to be taken over the next few days, next week or so. Actually, for the next week. So I don't know what time that flight next Wednesday is for my oldest daughter, but once we get through all this, daughter graduating college and other daughter getting taken to the airport to go to Maryland, to go back to San Diego and all this other stuff, it'll settle down. I should be able to push out there a little more for the rest of May. I will be passing a spot in a few minutes where, 5 weeks ago? I don't remember exactly when it was. I got a little weak tornado on a day that the beloved SBC had no tornado risk for this area anyway. $500, $600, maybe nautical miles away from where they even had any risk drawn for the day. It's not the first time I've had that happen. Brief and weak, and for sure touched down a couple of different times. I wasn't there for the first touchdown, but I was there for the second. And once again, even though there may be some stuff out there in the Dixie area, I don't go out there anymore. I've had enough of that. Been there and done it enough times to know that I don't want to do it anymore. I'd rather be somewhere where I can actually see what's happening instead of assuming what might be happening. Well, if no one comes up behind me, I'm going to just sit here and keep on rolling along at 45 to 50 miles per hour. Now, if over the next 20 minutes or so I start seeing some more indications, maybe something going up on radar, which I wouldn't take that as, okay, here we go. No, it's liable to be a situation where it's just going to go up and it's going to collapse. If I can see something south of this front, I may be enticed to go check it out if it's within a reasonable distance. And by a reasonable distance, I'm talking about within 40 or 50 miles of where I am at that given moment, because I'm not going to travel far for a setup like today. And unfortunately, I do have some people coming up behind me. I was enjoying doing the 45 miles per hour out here in the middle of the backcountry nowhere. I guess I'll pick up the pace because I'm going to pass that location where they had the tornado about 5 weeks ago. Here in just a bit. As soon as I make a few wiggles through the highway here. Now, AT&T stuff's not going to work any good through here for sure, so we're pretty much 98% Starlinking this stuff right now. Even Starlink is going to have a little bit of a struggle getting around all these trees. But I can actually get up here and pull off and let these people go, because I can pull off the spot that I actually watched it, sat and watched it, because it was really close. See, I told you I had to zig and zag a little bit. Okay, so the property on my left right here touched down in this field out here to the left. Right out here. It touched down out here. And then it got into those trees that are coming up. You can see a few leaves flying. Then I came up here, I got a right around this next little curve. This is just about exactly how I turned myself around right here, and I watched it right there. And the funny thing was the store right here. Ooh, what happened? Are we switching? Yeah, we're switching. Okay, there's no service on that, that's why. So this little store right here, the guy that works there, he came out and he was going to go over. There's some picnic tables. I don't know if you can kind of see them bottom of the middle of the screen. There's picnic tables. He was going to go sit at a picnic table. He came out and I said, hey, you need to watch that. He took a glance at it and then turned and walked and went to the picnic tables, right? And I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue what's going on. The guy could have seen a little tornado and didn't even realize what it was. Anyway, that's that story. Gosh, radar is looking terrible. I don't even want to show you guys radar. It's pathetic. I'm basically meandering my way back home right now. So if between now and the time I get home anything decides to try to do anything, I'll check it out. But if it doesn't, I'm a call it a day. If something were to occur later, I will just maybe go out and do a resume on the stream or just create another one right quick. Well, we can look for some deer through this area. Haven't seen any yet. There usually are some deer. No deer. Ready. I'm going to give you a quick look at radar. Are you ready? Don't get overwhelmed by the lack of seeing things on there. Because it is extremely poor. Ready? You get it for 3 seconds. Yeah. See what I mean? What I should do is go home and get on my zero turn and mow the last acre that I haven't mowed yet. I think it will get wet here, more likely Friday. I can't even find you anything interesting to show you today. Unless you like some wildflowers. There's wildflowers along the road. Just noticed the state flower, the bluebonnet, has been, and I haven't seen a lot today this year. Usually you have these areas along highways and whatnot have a lot of those bluebonnets out, and unless I just missed I don't know, I wouldn't pay that much attention to it. I mean, you grow up with that stuff, it's kind of becomes second nature to you, but it's easy to always tell that the touristy type people that you know, are pulled off the highway and they're out in somebody's field taking pictures with bluebonnets and, you know, taking pictures of kids. I get all that, you know, that's fine. I live here, so I see it all the time, but sometimes it's almost a traffic hazard, the number of people that would just pull off the road a little bit but not pull off all the way, and not even be attending their vehicle, just be off the highway taking their pictures, and or out in somebody's field. We can always go to the lookout over the lake here, Lake Somerville. Well, I guess my oldest daughter is airborne now. Headed from San Diego to Austin. Yep, there's the lake. Of course, it goes back over this way too. Yeah, lake out there too. Yeah, folks, this is looking really looked like, is still looking like, and definitely is probably most likely going to be a total uneventful day for at least Texas. Again, can't say that so much for points well to the east. I'll probably look in on that. Now, one of the connections underwent an issue with signal loss. So, give me a chance to just make sure that I don't know why it will not auto reconnect when that happens, but it did not do it. Okay, let's go good. So we turn it back on. And that one is on Wi-Fi too. It's interesting. Wi-Fi 2 is not even seeing it. That's very interesting. I am considering taking another step with it's a way to bond both AT&T connections into a singular connection and have one connection, but they're still going to bond. They're going to bond. They will bond before. Let's see if I can explain this. Let's say two connections become one, and it would be a single Wi-Fi connection, but both of those would be bonding before they even get into the actual bonding computer-wise. Does that make sense? So I'd have one wireless connection to my two AT&T devices at the same time. So if I decided to actually, I'm going to shut this thing off because there's something weird's going on. It's not even turning itself on. So inevitably that would open up one of the Wi-Fi connections. So if I ever did do the Verizon, I can bring the Verizon in on there as well. So I would bond the Verizon and the Starlink as one. They would be standalones that come in bonded, and then I'd have two AT&T connections, two AT&T connections that come together into one super connection. So what I would have is only 3 connections showing up in the bonding. But in the real world, there would be 4. Does that make any sense? I'll try to explain it to myself. Okay. Yep, it looked like it was just a case of device confusion. It didn't want to see that connection. Not that it matters. Probably run this off of one single connection right now, but really seriously, the stream is going to end here shortly. We're getting more sunlight here and all that good stuff, but it's just not. Let's see, the winds. Winds are out of the north, yeah, for sure. Of course, I knew that already. Stick your hand out the window and find out for sure, but yeah, pretty sure. So I think in about 5 minutes, I am actually going to shut this stream down. And if anything were to go off later, I may jump back out if it's close, but for the most part, I think I can call it a day. But I can take you across the other part of the dam, the lake area out here. Actually, you know, I may take a look at something else here real quick. You're going to see trees for a second. I'm going to switch to the remote. I just want to see if I'm going to go to the remote here in a minute, and there's a lot of people that fish down here. This is where the floodgates are. So I'm going to step out and see if I can walk some 50 feet away, and if you lose the video, then let me know in a comment. If you lose the video when I get at the, you know, at any point walking out here, I want to know, because I'm not going to be able to see if it drops or not. But I'll show you where the people are doing the fishing. I'm not taking audio with me. So. I don't know if that held up or not. No comments, so I don't know. I guess I'll look at the delayed playback and see. mute briefly? Okay, so held up, but it wasn't perfect. But I walked about 50 feet away. I had 1, 2, 3 cars between me and where I landed. And okay, what is that on my window over there? Yeah. Let me get back. I'm looking at something here. Trying to look at my Wi-Fi. Trying to look at the antenna that receives that wireless camera signal. Yeah, it was okay. But anyway, it looked like it worked to some degree anyway. It worked enough. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so looking at the current situation, let's go home. The stream will be coming to an end in about 3 minutes. Again, if anything decides to happen later, I will jump back in and head back out. If it's within 30 minutes, let's put it that way. So aside from that, it will be probably more than likely middle next week before I'm gonna really have the freedom to get back out again. sorry I didn't have anything to show you today. Chances were pretty darn slim to be honest to start with. I mean, really, really low chances. Very similar to what happened last night in north and northeast Texas, where nothing happened. It was possible, but nothing happened. It's like today, it was possible, but nothing has happened. Certainly not one of your classic type severe weather days. Maybe a little more truth to that if I were to drive 300 miles east, and that is not going to happen. Why is that not going to happen? It's too far and it's in the trees. Stress on the latter part of that statement. It's in the trees. So next intersection, I will pull over and I'll go ahead and do a shutdown. I guess there's what, 20 something people that have nothing better to do today than to watch highway stripes pass before them, and a couple of dark clouds, maybe a few flowers. A place where people go fishing. Yeah, I am probably going to go home and just go ahead and do a 15 minute ice treatment, 15 on, 15 off, 15 on, just to try to help my left side over there where they got sciatic nerve issues going on. Person carrying weed eater, you need to get off your phone and pay attention that there's traffic coming. This parking lot and put an end to it. I really didn't want to set a target today, given the circumstances, but at the same time, it did costing, fuel costs to get out here today. So I burned through about probably 175 miles of fuel. So that $20 super chat probably pretty much maybe covered that. So I can't complain. I'm appreciative of, yeah, you know what word I'm looking for, right? Appreciative? Yes, appreciative of that. So let me bring up a window, let me open this, let me go down and scroll down and get down to this, go to my live, go to my live, and we'll get that on. And from there, I can end it. So, there you go. To the few that's probably watching right now. Hey, thanks anyway. Thanks for riding along. Maybe next time I get a chance to do something that, maybe we'll have something more substantial to look at. Doesn't happen that way all the time. And again, today was really a low-end possibility, but I didn't have anything else to do for this part of this day, so why not? Take a shot. Take a shot. So anyway, I will see you next time. Just go find I usually announce these, unless you want to sign yourself up and click the, get notified thing on here or whatever. If you're not subscribed, please do so. And I'll post any other future streams on usually on my Instagram account, which cross posts over to my Facebook page. That's my name with WXTREME, Weather Extreme in short, and click the links from there. Sometimes I put it out on X, most times I do not. Probably more often I'll put it out on Blue Sky Social. Get it there. I don't pay a lot of attention to that account. I just occasionally post something there, but not very often. So yeah, one other thing too is that I know this thing, and I have Storm Chaser on my thing. I really didn't want to have to put it there, but I did. I also know that there's times that I'm going to stream things that have nothing to do with weather. And if you looked at any prior videos, you may see that I have done just that. And there's some other things that may get thrown into the mix. So anyway, everybody enjoy. What day is this? It is Wednesday, right? Yes, it's Wednesday because I had to go dump my trash, and I do it on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So I guess we'll see you next time.